set it up already with just the column headings up here, and I start to put my first make. One of the things you'll notice is the columns are not wide enough, so the words don't all fit. Like there should be down payment. You can't see the whole thing over here. So first thing we should do is make the columns wider. We click on this button right here to the left of the letter A. What that does is that highlights the whole sheet, and then once you highlight all the cells, you can just go to Format, go to Column Width, and then select the bigger number. By default, say 0.43. I'm going to select 20. Should be wide enough. You can always go back and change it. So now the whole idea of the spreadsheet is we're looking at 3 different makes and models of cars. So the first one I chose is Dodge Challenger. Obviously, you guys choose your own. But rows 2 through 4, which is going to be for the first car, they're all going to be Dodge under make, and they're all going to be Challenger under model, in my example. So rather than type, one of the reasons for using Excel is that it saves you the trouble as long as you use the features like autofill and copying and that sort of thing. So I wrote Dodge here. If you look at this black dot on the bottom right of the cell, if you put your mouse over it, you can just click on it, copy it down, copy the words down for all 3. Same thing with the next one. So the model I'm looking at is Challenger. So if I click on Challenger, and then that black dot on the bottom right, if I click over that, I can drag it down. Now that's copied. So just save some typing. As far as trim, I looked at a few before. So like if I chose like RT for one of them, SRT 8 for another one, and then the Hellcat. So again, they're all Dodge Challengers, but these are 3 of the trim levels that you can buy. There's more. It depends on the car though. I didn't really look at the exact prices, but remember you're looking at MSRP. You should find that online on like cars.com or the manufacturer's websites. So I'm just going to pick some numbers here. So like let's say the price is around $36,000 for the RT. Let's say it's about $42,000 for the SRT8, and then the Hellcat is about $68,000. Notice I'm not putting any commas in here. The reason is we can format this all later and just save the typing. Moving over to the down payment. If you guys look at the sheet, your down payment is $5,000. So no matter what car you buy, your down payment is going to be $5,000. So type that in, and you can, again, rather than type it 9 times, you can just copy it down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that just, again, saves you some trouble. Now, you have to use formulas. You're going to have 4 different formulas in this project, and this is where most of your points come from. So you have to do them. You can't just do it on paper or just, do the number in your head and write it in. You have to put the formulas to get full credit. So for principal, we said principal of the loan is the amount you're borrowing. So to find out what that is, you simply have to take the price of the car, which is over here. On my sheet, it's D2. You're going to minus the down payment, which is E2. Every formula starts with an equal sign. So you're going to write equals, and then again the cell location. So you want to take D2 minus E2. Now your spreadsheet, if it's set up a little differently, you might have different cell coordinates, but this is what works on mine. So that's what I get. I got 31 grand. That's the amount we're borrowing for the loan. Duration is something that you pick. I would keep it the same across all 9 cars. I mean, I'll say like 3 years is kind of standard. It could be 5 years. It could be 2 years, whatever you want it to be. It ends up being whatever you can afford, to be honest. You take a loan out, you want to pay it off as soon as possible, but you also want to be realistic as far as your ability to pay back. So I'm just going to pick a duration of 3 years, and you want to reflect that as months. So 3 years is 36 months. The interest rate is something you could probably get on the manufacturer's websites. You can look for incentives and offers. All car manufacturers either work with banks or have their own banks. So the interest rates are going to vary by the car company you choose to research. Again, I'm just going to, for the sake of just a demonstration, I'm going to say my interest rate I found was like, let's say 3.2%. Now, before I type that, I need to format this column because I need this column to show the number as a percent. If I type 3.2 and then I change it to a percent, it's going to give me the wrong number. So to format this column, right-click on the letter H, that represents this column. Go to Format Cells. And then you want to choose percentage. And you can leave it to 2 decimal places, which it is by default. Hit OK. So now if I type a number in here, so I'll type in 3.2, Excel knows to make that percent, 3.2%. So that is correct now. And then again, so any Dodge I look at, I'm probably looking at the same interest rate because it's going to be through the same bank. So I'll just copy that down for these. Now, if you look at another make, if you look like a Ford Mustang, Ford's going to have a different interest rate. So that's what you should try and research. Now, monthly payments. This is a long formula. Well, actually, it's a function. You're going to use the PMT function. It stands for payment. We want to know how much our monthly payments are going to be. So you might have to pause the video and type this formula down. Let me just write it over here really quick. You're going to actually I'll write it in, and you can go back and look at it if you need to. So it starts out with an equal sign, as all functions and formulas do in Excel. I'm going to put the negative sign here because the payment function returns a negative number. I want it to be positive because I still need to use the result later on in the sheet. So if I put a negative in front of it, it becomes two negatives, one negative times another negative, and you get a positive. So now you're going to call on the function by going PMT, that stands for payment, open a parentheses, and now, and this is the part you should be writing down, you might have to pause this. First component, the first parameter you have to put in is the interest rate divided by 12. So your interest rate is here. The cell location on my sheet is H2. Now this is a yearly interest rate. So you have to divide it into, you need 12 parts because you're making monthly payments, 12 months in the year. So you're going to take that rate, that yearly rate, you're going to divide it by 12. That's the first component. Then put a comma. The next component is the duration of the loan. In other words, how long is the loan for? So it has to be expressed in months because you're looking for a result that gives you monthly payments. So duration in months is right here. It's cell G2. So you can just click on it and you can see it fills in G2. If you put years, if you put 3 over here instead of 36, you're going to have to do G2 times 12. That'll make it 36. But if you just put months on your spreadsheet, then it simplifies it. So that was the second component, duration in months. The third component is the principal of the loan that we have right here in this column in F2. So again, I could type it in the formula or I could just click on it and it fills in the cell coordinate for me. So either way is fine. Then that's it. Those are the three things we need. Close your parentheses. So again, and this is what you should be writing down, it's the interest rate divided by 12. My interest rate was in H2, comma. The second component is the duration in months. My duration was in cell G2, comma. Then the principal of the loan, the principal of my loan was in F2. That's it. So this should work. So hit enter, and there it is. So it cost me $904.25 a month. If I wanted to finance this car, I make payments over 3 years. Now the beauty of Excel is you don't have to type this formula another 8 times. Because we use cell coordinates, and you can see the formula up here, because we use cell coordinates, we can just copy this formula. So just click on it and grab that bottom dot on the right side and just copy it down. You can copy it for all 9 cars. Now, we don't get a value in these yet because we have blank cells, but as you put these numbers in, as you write the principal as you copy down the principal formula for this, and if you want, you can compare 3-year loans for all of them, copy down the loans, you can see that the first 3 cars with the complete information, everything's done. It gives you the monthly payments. So that's how that works. Now, if you look at the outline, there's a few more things you're going to have to do. So let's see what we're up to. We just did this one. Use the PMT function to calculate monthly payments. So now, when you buy a car, if you finance a car, meaning you take a loan out for it, it's going to cost you more than the actual price of the car because when you pay the loan back, you're paying back interest. That's the fee for actually borrowing. So when you say calculate the total cost, what it means is how much did this car really cost you? This Challenger RT might have been $36,000, but if I took a 3-year loan on it, it cost me more than $36,000. It cost me the $36,000 plus whatever interest I had to pay on the loan. So what you want to do is we want to add another column, and you're going to call that the total cost of the car. You can call it just total cost if you want, or total cost of car. And again, this is the number that tells you how much did it actually cost you to buy this car. So if you look at it on the sheet over here, you're going to figure this out by multiplying the monthly payment. So again, when you see these, look for the cell coordinates. So the monthly payment on my sheet is right here. It's in cell I2. So right away I'm thinking coordinates. So I'm going to take I2 and times it by the duration of the loan. Well, the duration of the loan is in G2. So right away, right there is the first operation in your formula. It's going to be I2 times G2, and then you have to add the down payment. Down payment is here in E2. So we said it's going to be the monthly payments times the duration. So let's start writing a formula for that. You start every formula with an equal sign. So we said we'll take monthly payments. That's I2. We're going to times it. So you use the asterisk above number 8. So it's I2 times the duration. So I2 times G2. And you can see the cells highlight. You can see the cells highlight as you put the coordinates in, so that just helps you not make a mistake that you're putting the right cell coordinates in. So it's the monthly payments times the duration plus the down payment. So now we're going to use plus down payment. So the down payment is in cell E2. There's your formula. Monthly payments times duration plus the down payment. Now we don't need parentheses because we want the addition to happen after the monthly payments are multiplied by the duration, because in PEMDAS, your order of operations, multiplication is coming first. This will happen first before this number is added. So you don't need to use parentheses. So let's hit enter. And you can see this is how much the car really cost you at that interest rate over the 3-year loan, $37,553.09. The original price of the car was $36,000. So there's a difference there. So you paid more over 3 years than the car would actually cost as far as the price of it. You want to figure out what that difference is in yet another column. And this should be your last one. So now you want to figure out the total cost of interest. So use another column, label it total cost of interest. And again, you just want to figure out the difference between this number and this number. So it's really just a simple operation. And if you look back on the sheet, it's the second last bullet. Total cost of interest for each car by subtracting the price of the car from the total cost of the car. So very simply, it's a simple algebraic formula. Take this minus and subtract this from it. So we can write a very simple formula for that. So equal sign, total cost of the car, which is right here, minus the price of the car. Hit enter. So that's how much your interest costs. So this was the cost of borrowing the loan. So again, once you have these formulas, copy them down. And as you fill in the rest of your cars, that's going to work. There's a few more things on here. Be sure to use borders and conditional formatting. And also, you probably should format a few of these things. Rather than typing in the $ and the commas, you can set formatting to the columns and have them show up with those symbols in them already, so you don't have to type them. So like columns D through F, for example, if I highlight them, so I just clicked on letter D and I held the mouse button, dragged it over to F. So now all 3 columns are highlighted. I can go to Format Cells by right-clicking, and I'm going to choose Currency. Whoops. Now I want 2 decimal places because obviously cents is to second decimal place. I want the $ symbol. So make sure those 2 options are selected. Hit OK, and you can see what it does is it formats it for you. There's the comma, there's your $ to 2 decimal places. These it looks like these are already put in. So if they're not, you can just format them. Now it wants borders. Well, to put borders on, all you have to do is highlight the range of cells that you want to put borders on. So you can start like here, like actually you should start over a little bit. You might have to use a scroll bar. So start in your first cell, top left, and then you can hold the mouse button down. You could drag it over and highlight the range of data you have. And then if you want to put borders on, which actually you have to get full credit for the formatting, it's right here. Hit that drop-down arrow, go to all borders, or you can do any combination of borders you want, actually. As long as you have something on there, you'll get full credit for it. So that puts borders on your sheet. So if you were to print this, you'd actually see the lines. These gray lines will not print. They're just for you to use as a guide while you're actually using Excel on the computer. Now the last part of this, for full credit, says be sure to use borders and conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is something that you can format the cell based on a value. So in other words, let's say I want to look at my monthly payments and I want to say that anything over $1,000 a month should turn red, because that's just going to be like an indicator to me that I can't afford that. Let's say that's my maximum budget if I was actually making a sheet like this for comparison. So what I could do is I can highlight the column, and I'll just highlight the range of cells actually. So what I could do is I can put conditional formatting. You could set a condition. So I could say anything under $1,000, turn it green. Any value over $1,000, turn it red. So I'm going to highlight the column, well, not the whole column, but just the cells that I have the payments in. Go over here to conditional formatting and choose highlight cell rules. So now if you want to do the under 1,000 first, you would choose the less than option. So less than 1,000. So I'm going to just type in 1,000 here, and I'm going to choose a color. So I'm going to say green fill. So you see what it just did? It just highlighted the one under 1,000 in green. These are highlighted in green only because they're negative numbers right now. That's what the parentheses mean. They're negative numbers because this missing information. When you fill in all 9 cars, they won't be negative anymore. So now I also want to take that same range of cells. I'm going to highlight them again. And this time I want to set a condition to it that makes it turn red if it's over 1,000. So go back to conditional formatting, go to highlight cell rules. This time you want to do greater than. So greater than 1,000. Actually, I'm going to do greater than $9.99 because I don't want to, in case you happen to have a monthly payment that's exactly 1,000, it's not going to get formatted. So do $9.99, actually 0.99 just to catch it just at 1,000. So anything greater than that will be red. So let's see what options I have. This one should be fine. Light red with dark red text. Hit OK. So there's conditional formatting. So as these numbers change, like let's say, you know, if I got a result that was over 1,000, I'll just type it in manually, but you'll see the box changes. And then if it was less than 1,000, the box changes back again. So that's the conditional formatting. The whole idea of Excel is it's automated. You're automating as much as possible. And that's really it. And I'll put an assignment on Google Classroom, and you guys can submit it to me like that. Good luck. Thank you.